The Namibia Foundation?
Basically, the aims of the Namibian Foundation are twofolded. One, to improve social, political, and say the welfare of Namibians at home, to bring about bridges of understanding among our people that can enable them to be able to communicate politically, socially, and otherwise. Internationally, we are looking forward to be the creators of goodwill, bridges, and understanding between our country and Africa and the international community.
Having been in exile for 24 years yourself from Southwest Africa, what do you feel that your own personal contribution can now be to Namibia?
I think what I have done since my return testifies to my own personal contribution to the progress that is taking place in our country in terms of the constitutional discussions going on now in Southwest Africa, Namibia. Because in the past 2 months, I have been able to create contacts internationally and be able also to interpret developments at home from a much more objective position than if I were otherwise associated with the Tonhale officially or with the government in the territory officially. This foundation that we have created, being an independent private foundation of blacks and whites in the territory, has enabled us to be able to talk to Africa and the rest of the world maybe in a much more objective way than we could have otherwise done.
And who finances the foundation?
The foundation is basically financed.
Who finances the foundation?
The foundation is financed by the ordinary people, the business community, and we hope everybody is going to be involved really in the private sector of the country.
Do you see that you yourself will have a role to play in the government of Namibia once it is independent?
At the present time, I think I'm more concerned about the work that has to be done now. Really, I'm not thinking about any future role in the government. I rather prefer not to speculate on that because I think we have tremendous work ahead of us between this period and the inauguration of independence of the territory. And I would like to dedicate myself to doing whatever I can in my own private way in as far as the problems and hurdles that we have in the way before we become independent.
And what do you expect the attitude of the government of independent Namibia to be to South Africa?
I can say that we don't look forward to a hostile relationship with South Africa. We are rather going to be more objective and more realistic in our relationship with the government of South Africa. And as an independent government, I think we also have responsibilities not only towards our neighbors all over Southern Africa, but also towards South Africa.
But don't you think this might perhaps produce hostile reactions from some of the more not progressive necessarily, revolutionary black countries?
Well, I don't think there's going to be any, hostility because at the present time they are also, importing goods from South Africa, including food. And I think if people are in such a position as to import food and other commodities from South Africa, I believe that that doesn't necessarily mean that they are pawns of the South African government or stooges of the South African government. I believe that Namibia is going to be realistic in its association and relationship with South Africa and would like to be very more disciplined and more probably honest in our relationship than being otherwise because we believe that we are responsible, as I said, to all our people in Southern Africa and all our neighbors in Southern Africa. We are not going to want to just operate in isolation.
Fine, good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Television companies syndication, so we got a lot of clients around the world. So it will probably be shown to quite a lot of countries. It depends who is going to want to buy the film or not. We're not particular television like ITN. We are part of ITN, but we are the agency side. So we syndicate our film. But we got lots of clients. We got 96 clients around the world. So we should, there should be.
Well, if there is anything that the foundation can do to help you also,
thank you.
Get clients, whom you don't have at this particular time, we'll be very happy to do so.
Thank you very much.
You can give us just information as to what we should say and about you and